pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am Nisha Charles.
And I am Desmond Joseph.
And we are your presenters for the evening. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, tropical storm approaching Dominica.
Environmentally conscious development for Antigua.
Syria conflict, regime kills dozens in Damascus.
And in sports, Dominica ahead in volleyball at Windward Island School Games.
Details of these and other stories after the break.
SAT Telecommunications Ltd is the official rights holder and broadcaster of the 2012 London Olympic Games.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. As part of the Maho reunion, a forum with Cabinet was held on August 2nd on the way forward. The Labour Party administration has made it their mantra to provide opportunities for those who have been treated unfairly in the system, having no access to education service in the country because of their social origin. Honourable Rayburn Blackmore, parliamentary representative for the Maho constituency, says none of us can determine our social origin.
We were born in Picardy, we were born in Belfast, we were born in Shimikowe, and the various parts of Maho through no fault of ours. We did not select our parents. But what we can do is to write and determine our destiny. But in order for us to do that, we have to ensure that as a government, we provide the downtrodden with equal access to public goods and services. By that, I mean access to education, access to proper health care, access to communication.
Dominica has emerged as a country that ensures that once a child obtains grade 6 level education, they will go on to secondary school.
We have departed from the era whereby education was a privilege to an era whereby education is in fact a right. And we believe as a Labour Party that ordinary folks can do extraordinary things once given the opportunity. If that is corruption, I want to be corrupt. We believe that no child or person should be left to die because his or her mother doesn't have the money to send a child to Guadeloupe, to Barbados, and to seek proper medical care.
The forum focused mainly on returning Dominicans concerned about the way forward for Maho and Dominica on a whole. Acting Prime Minister Honourable Ambrose George says a lot of Dominica's achievements are due to the foreign policy adopted by the government.
What is driving the foreign policy of your government, this government, is our domestic and economic needs. And that has been manifested very, very vividly, very, very promisingly in terms of what we have achieved so far as a result of the foreign policy that your government has adopted over the years.
Joseph Germain, who served as Community Development Assistant for 3 years in Maho, is very impressed with the development taking place in the community. He says the government must empower persons to solve some of their problems.
The caution is we must guard against, I appreciate all the help that you give into the community. We must guard against what happened in the United States and in many parts of Europe. We must guard against not allowing Dominica to develop a welfare state where we take care of people and we provide all of their needs from the cradle to the grave. Because what that does is that it takes away initiative from the people and it causes us to be lazy. Government help in whatever way they can, but empower the people so that they can also help.
Other members of Cabinet were present to answer questions by the public.
Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Matthew Walter, has released a statement indicating the next step which should be taken to manage the dangerous disease Black Sigatoka. Mr. Walter says bananas and plantains are important crops and are major contributors to our agriculture sector.
For the period 2010 and 2011, foreign exchange earnings from bananas and plantains amounted close to 150 million EC dollars. The government of Dominica, more specifically Ministry of Agriculture, remains committed to the development of the agricultural sector. It is for this reason that the government has invested millions of dollars in the sustainable development of the banana and plantain subsector after storms, hurricanes, and drought conditions.
He mentioned that the government informed the Ministry of Agriculture of the price and will be providing the funding through a 50-50 loan grant scheme for banana farmers.
However, the recent confirmation of black sigatoka in the Commonwealth of Dominica is of serious economic concern to this country. Black sigatoka is a deadly disease of plantains and bananas caused by the leaf spot fungus. This leaf spot disease is far more dangerous than yellow sigatoka. This disease is one of the most destructive pests of bananas and plantains, which is threatening food nutrition and security. Black sigatoka disease is found in almost all banana and plantain growing regions of the world, which
a recent survey has been conducted by the Ministry of Agriculture and has confirmed the presence of black sigatoka in the South, Southeast, and the Central Agriculture regions.
The potential damage caused by this disease, in combination with other pests and diseases, can lead to significant reduction in the banana and plantain subsector. Of particular concern is that this disease is spread by wind, water, that is rain, and the movement of infested material from one area to another.
One top energy official is calling on the government to level the playing field so that more effort can be placed into the renewable energy sector to reduce Dominica's dependency on fossil fuels. This statement was made by Managing Director Mr. Herve Nizard of Sustainable Earth, a Caribbean alternative energy company which has been established in Dominica since 2007. He said for the first kilowatt of electricity used, Dominica is not charged value-added tax. However, when one solar panel is imported, there is VAT on it, which is not fair, and if this continues, it will not help the drive towards renewable energy use. Mr. Nizard said although the government has given duty-free concessions, it is not enough, as there is still 1.5% tax for environmental levy and 3% tax customs service charge, in addition to 15% VAT.
Import duties waiver completely. That's part one. And on the other side is a fair return to the grid price agreement with Domlec/IRC. And why do I say Domlec/IRC? Because when you try to speak with Domlec, they tend to say that the IRC is fixing the prices, and the IRC is saying, yeah, Domlec is fixing the prices and we are approving it. So it's very difficult to know who is in charge of what. The only thing I can tell you is that today Domlec is charging as an average a kilowatt of electricity at 1.15 EC dollar. And as an average, they are buying the kilowatt of renewable energy at 40 cents.
Mr. Nizard said at the rate, something is definitely wrong, and explained in further details.
To give you an example, it's a bit like if you were going to your bank today, you are giving your bank $100, you are depositing in your bank $100, and you come tomorrow, you want to take your money, and your bank is saying, oh yes, here is your money, I have your $40. You would feel that is strange. Today, when you send back a kilowatt to Domlec, you are given 40 cents, and when you then need back this kilowatt from Domlec, you are paying it $1.1. In many countries, and I think in 38 states of the United States, you have net metering agreement. You send them back 10 kilowatt, you have a credit of 10 kilowatt.
He added that up to 30% of the energy we use is wasted due to inappropriate installations or in home settings or our usual way of living, which if we take a more proactive approach, we the consumers will be saving a lot of money, which can be used for other things. Mr. Nizard says having natural ventilation or natural lighting would significantly reduce our energy consumption, especially during these hard economic times and as Dominica has the highest electricity rates in the Caribbean. The managing director pointed out that workshops are necessary to sensitize the public on ways they can live their same lives while reducing their electrical consumption.
The big problem in Dominica is, like in a lot of other countries, is that in order to really boost renewable energy, you have to have a common interest from the customers, from the utility company, from the renewable energy companies, and of course from the government in terms of taxes. Today the deal is quite unfair, and although a lot of people in Dominica are saying that renewable energy use is promoted, I would more say that it is accepted and it's not really promoted.
Mr. Nizard highlighted that the system of net metering would be very beneficial to the Dominican public, as he explains further.
And in order to do that, you need to have systems that are interesting for the customers, such as sometimes what is called net metering, which would allow a renewable energy system to send back the electricity produced but not used to the grid, and later use the energy from the grid as a direct exchange. You have sent 20 kilowatt to the grid and you get 20 kilowatt back from the grid. That is what is called net metering, which is enforced in a lot of US territories, some places in Europe, and that has proven to work and to be a great incentive for people to then turn to renewable energies.
Mr. Nizard says the government should play a more active role in promoting the use of renewable energy in Dominica.
The Office of Disaster Management is informing the general public of the potential weather system coming across the island of Dominica in the next 12 to 24 hours and would like the public to be prepared.
Be aware of the inclement weather, which may bring us heavy rains, some gusty winds, and in that regard we would like persons along watercourses, low-lying areas prone to flooding, coastal areas prone to sea surge, to be very, very cautious. We also want to appeal to the farmers with livestock near watercourses and rivers to move such animals to higher ground. Farmers with greenhouses to be vigilant on the wind strengths that may necessitate the taking down of some greenhouses, and we also want persons to be have their disaster plans ready, their kits.
Program Officer Mr. Steve Joseph gives further details about the materials needed.
It is times like these that maybe we get people to listen a little more at some of the things we say throughout the year. The whole issue of being prepared. And it's better to be prepared and not experience anything and then to be not prepared and then you are caught off guard. So of course the possibility of this evening that we're receiving some rains. Rain is of course a high possibility, and so we want to ensure that people are prepared, that they have transistor radios, battery operated transistor radios, flashlights, because we encourage people to not go and use fire in times like these, so that if the electricity goes off, that you have some lighting system.
He mentioned that people should have already upgraded or purchased their first aid kit.
And to have certain things in place, your documents already in place, your titles and your certificates and important pictures and so on. And we're hoping that if people need to access a shelter, that residents are aware of the location of those shelters, the preferred access to the shelters, and who your managers and your assistant managers are, and that keys are accessible. We have some situations where people with keys live outside the community. So we want to make sure that these things are accessible, that if shelters are to be open, that they have access.
One changed young man will get his chance to shine on stage in his birth country, Dominica, as he will be the main act at the Gospel Night on Friday, August 3rd at the 9th Annual National Rabbit Festival being held in Cochrane. Son of the soil, Mr. Nyan Warrington, says he is delighted to perform in his country as he now resides in Barbados, which is where he launched his career in gospel music. The gospel artist pointed out he will also launch his debut album titled Mr. Warrington at the event, which will also be very special for him as he chose to do it in his hometown Dominica instead of Barbados. When asked how he got involved in the music business, preferably gospel music, he replied,
"I'm a pastor's son, and I grew up in the church. I was born in the church, actually. I had a couple of my years, strayed away from the church, different reasons, you know what I mean. But it was one point in my life where, where you've done so much and you reach so far, and it seems like, not much left to do, and you're kind of looking and turning for somewhere else and for something else. So decided, to take my life a little bit seriously, and make the decision to get into music probably about 2 years after making that decision. I joined a group, I was in a band as well. I've been on my own as a solo artist for about 2 years now.
Though it has been a very rough journey for him, his passion for the music keeps him going, as he's of the belief that he's on earth to give back, and he will continue to do so. Mr. Warrington says his music is all about love, transformation, life, and positive vibes.
Heights of my career is, probably doing events like the Gospel Fest events in Barbados, working with some amazing producers in Barbados, getting to know some of the regional artists, which I did not know before I left Dominica. Some of the lows would be some of the real trying times where you expected people to do certain things for you, expecting certain outcomes of certain things, and just not having that support that you would want. Sometimes it could feel a little bit depressing. And then I think the highest of the highest points would be recently, where I just received my first album. It's my debut album, entitled Mr. Warrington, which I will be launching for Dominica. They will be getting it first. I live in Barbados, but the Dominican public will be getting it first.
He added the album has 12 tracks of a mixture of genres, showing his versatility, which will appeal to everyone, no matter their taste in music, and will truly be uplifting after listening to his music, his album.
First of all, inspiration has to come from God. That's where my inspiration comes from. Secondly, when I look around and see different things, my inspiration comes from that, because what I want to do is to give a message. This music is just about a message, just giving a message that someone could listen to, that they could in sad times, happy times, when you're angry, just all type of mood music, and just what I do. I live for it. Do you write? Yeah, I write my own stuff. I write everything that I do. Yeah.
The gospel artist says his main focus is getting the good music out to the public. Although it is business, the money is not priority since he is doing God's work. He added at the end of the day, if you handle God's business, he will handle yours, which is what he has been seeing throughout his life. Mr. Warrington attended the Dominica Grammar School before migrating to Barbados.
The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association held its Food for Thought cocktail and mini expo themed Health and Wellness, Valuable Opportunities for Expansion on Thursday, August 1st. Certified massage professional Ms. Terry Henry shared interesting perspectives based on her many years of experience working in the health and wellness industry, a sector within tourism which shows the fastest growth rate globally. Ms. Henry is a certified massage professional and has been practicing in Dominica since 2004.
Health and wellness tourism is a subject that I'm very passionate about. believe that we have a lot to explore and expand upon. So I approached the HTA to organize a food for thought presentation with them so that I could share with their members the newest trends, what's happening in the industry of health and wellness, and how that we can integrate health and wellness more into the tourism product for Dominica to increase our revenue and to increase our competitiveness within the region.
When asked if health and wellness is unappreciated in Dominica, she had this to say.
I guess we have a very strong health and wellness group. You know, there's a lot of different therapies happening, and Dominica is naturally a health and wellness island. From the time you step off the plane, you're breathing fresh air, you're exercising by just walking up a hill, natural foods, hot spas, sea. So we have a lot to offer, and I think maybe people just take it for granted of all our, natural attributes that contribute to our health and wellness. So maybe the sector is a little underutilized, and we want to, make people more aware of the preventative healthcare model, because that's really what natural health and wellness is about, is preventing people from getting sick rather than being ill and then seeking medical attention.
Apart from the sulfur springs, Ms. Henry believes there are many health and wellness areas we should focus on. She goes into further details.
Well, at the moment, I am organizing a massage program, which is an international certified massage course with a school out of Barbados, and that I feel is the main thing we need to focus on, is massage therapy, just because it's the most basic and recognized of all therapies. Like, it's very the consumer's demanding it, and we cannot meet the demand right now, so we're losing out on business by not having massage therapists. So having a massage course, which is going to run in Dominica, it's a 9-month program, very rigorous training, over 500 hours of training. And that, I feel, that is a key focus for us.
A PowerPoint presentation was delivered which included a demo massage. Ms. Henry is also a writer whose articles on natural living and health and wellness have been published locally, regionally, and internationally. She believes that we need to do more outreach to the public, citizens, to understand what health and wellness is all about.
We cannot really create this health and wellness product and try and sell it to tourists, and then when they come here we are looking unhealthy, and overweight, or not living a full quality of life, when we have so many things here to do that. So I think we need to focus on groundwork, outreach, but also investment. If we want to reach the other islands, we need to invest in our professionals.
The Capuchin Cultural Group, DBS Group, Felix Henderson and Fred Nicholas were some of those awarded at the Golden Drum Awards ceremony and concert on August 1st. The ceremony was meant to honor those who have played significant roles in cultural development in Dominica. Raymond Lawrence, Chief Cultural Officer, outlined some of the awards of the night.
Our Golden Drum awardees this evening are DBS Radio for the promotion of Dominica's music and cultural heritage, the Capuchin Cultural Group for their preservation and promotion of Dominica's traditional dance and music, Freddie Nicholas for his work in the field of popular music, and Felix Henderson for his work in preserving and promoting Dominica's Creole language.
The special awards went to Alex Bruno for his development and promotion of theatre, the Flamboyant Dancers for their preservation and promotion of traditional dance and music, the Genesis Steel Orchestra, Michelle Raffle, and Sixth Form Cicero Singers. Mr. Lawrence urged the awardees to continue the important work which they have been doing in culture.
Culture must continue to play a major role in Dominica's development and help to build and strengthen our sense of national pride and identity. There is a simple saying that goes like this: one person can make a difference. And we can take it further to say one group can make a difference. In the cases of the individuals and groups receiving awards tonight, I think we can say that about them, that they have been able to make a difference in their communities and in Dominica.
He says the occasion of the celebrations of emancipation in Dominica should be used to re-energize our commitment to promote the positive aspects of our culture and renew commitment to helping build a better Dominica. Honorable Justina Charles, Minister for Culture, says the focus of the event is symbolic of our African heritage, symbolic of the role of the drum in the struggle for freedom.
The drum serves to transmit messages as a call for action. In this sense, our awardees this evening, through their work, have helped to transmit messages, ideas, knowledge, and skills from one generation to the next. They have stimulated action and dynamism in our present-day culture. The Golden Drum Award thus represents a most fitting and symbolic tribute to their efforts.
Here is a clip from the Genesis Steel Orchestra's performance. Here is a sample from first runner-up in the Domfesta Creole Song Competition 2012, Miriam Gerwig. And lastly, a performance by the Sixth Form Cicero Singers.
And in court tonight, an unemployed mother of Tarishpet found out the hard way that marijuana is illegal after she was fined for cultivation of cannabis. 44-year-old Angela Girodel, who appeared before Roseau Magistrate Kanye Judge on Thursday, August 2nd, was slapped with an $800 fine to be paid no later than September 23, 2012, or in default, spend 2 months in prison. According to the facts of the case read by Police Prosecutor Valda Powell on Tuesday, July 31st, the Task Force Department received some information in which they then secured a search warrant to search the defendant's home, which was carried out at 1:45 p.m. During the search behind the shack, an officer noticed what looked like 6 cannabis trees, which he questioned Ms. Girodel about, and she replied, "Officer, when we smoke it and it have seeds, we just sending them there and it growing." The trees were all unrooted, and Ms. Girodel was informed of the offense and charged before she was transported to the Roseau police station. The substance tested positive as cannabis. Attorney at law Peter Allen, who represented the defendant, argued in the mitigation that this could have been a simple possession of cannabis charge, and his client should just be asked to apologize to the police officers instead of a fine. However, he pleaded to the magistrate to impose a smaller fine to not further put his client under financial burden, as everyone in society is angry and we should not be fighting against each other. Magistrate Judge urged the defendant to stay away from marijuana, which is illegal, and find other ways to relax. This has been a local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.